Good morning, children. So today we'll study the one more chapter of science, separation of substances. Okay. So in our daily life, you can take a textbook and go through this. There are many instances when we notice a substance being separated from mixture of material. You see many materials mixture. From this material mixture, we will separate the substances which you have noticed in your daily life. Okay. So for example, tea leaves are separate from the liquid with a strainer. How will you separate tea leaves? Tea leaves, when the tea is prepared, tea leaves are separated from liquid. What we use there? We use a strainer. Liquid with a strainer when you are preparing tea. This is the daily which we will observe. Okay. So grain is separated from the stalk. Suppose the stalk is nothing, it is like this. If this is a stalk. Okay. So stalk is grain soluble here. Okay. And there is a stalk like this. So these both are separated. Okay. When we do this, so grains are separated from stalk while harvesting. Harvesting is the season where you will get different types of food grains and which are stored for future. Okay. Here one more instance is milk. Okay. Even milk or curd is churned to separate the butter. Milk or curd. What we do is we'll churn it. Churn it means there is a churning milk or churning curd which is actually called traditional method. Traditional. Okay. So churning machine, churning or churner we call. Okay. Churned to separate the butter. Okay. As we learned in chapter 3, we gin cotton to separate its seed from fiber. What we do here? We separate seeds from the fiber by a method called ginning. Okay. Perhaps you might have even salted dalia or poha. I think you know very well. This is commonly will observe in your home. When you prepare poha or dalia, or in your Kannada language you call avalakki. Okay. You might have eaten salted dalia or poha. So there is a poha which is salted. Okay. So what you do here, if you found that it had chilies in it, you may have carefully taken them out before eating. So if this poha is salty, but if it contains chili, what you do? Carefully you will take it out. Before eating you will take it out. Okay. Suppose you are given a basket containing mangoes and guavas. So there is basket of guavas plus mangoes. Okay. And you are asked to separate them. How will you separate them? What would you do? Pick out one kind and place them in separate container. What you do? Same kind or one kind of fruits. If all the guavas are the same kind, so we'll place in one side or one basket, small basket, and mangoes will keep it another side. Seems easy. Okay, so separating material will seem easy. It looks easy only, seems easy, but what if material we want to separate are much smaller? In this case, all the substances are larger in size. If they are smaller in size, okay, we want to separate much smaller than mangoes or guavas. Imagine you are given a glass of water and glass of sand with salt mixed in it. So what is given to you? Glass of sand plus salt mixed in it. Both are mixed here. How would you separate them? Impossible. Even to think of it separating salt from this mixture by picking out grains of sand by hand, impossible. See, even if you take your finger slowly, one sand, one salt particle, one sand, one salt, it is unimaginable. You cannot separate it. Okay. Oh. This traditional method earlier, what we used to do, we used to take buttermilk or curd, especially curd in the pot, and this is called churner. Wooden material with it, like they call churner, and they are tied with one side is connected to the stiff stick, and one side in the middle it is kept. This churner is kept, and that will be rotated. Little, not complete, half it will be rotated. Okay, there is balancing rotation also. Okay, but in your textbook there is one character called Paheli. But why would we need to separate substances like this at all? Is what Paheli wants to know. Why should we separate in this way? Why it is required to separate the substances from each other? We want to know. Okay. In column 1 of table 5.1, table 5.51 is given here. Okay. There is separation process, purpose for which we do the separation, and what do we do with separated compounds. Okay. So once I go through that later. Okay. See, the purpose of separation and the way separated components are used is mentioned in column 2 and 3. However, the information given in column 2 and 3 jumped up. It jumped up. Can you match each? If you want, you can match each other. Separate stones from rice to separate two different but useful components. Okay. So that is the case of we throw away the solid component. Okay. This activity can perform in your home also. Okay. So we see that before we use a substance, we need to separate harmful or non-useful substance. Whenever you want to separate any substances, if any harmful substance or non-useful substance is present in that particular substance or material brought from outside, you have to separate them which are mixed with each other. Sometimes we separate even useful components if we need to use them separately. Not only that, both are useless. Not only like one is useful and one is harmful, one is not useful. No. If two substances contain different material, but both of them are useful, then also we can separate by different methods. Okay. So earlier there were hand picking method is there. Okay, winnowing is there. Winnowing, threshing, these all are simple methods. Okay, churning also. But now technology developed different methods of separation we are having. Okay, so the substances to separate may be particles of different sizes or material. So the substances which you want to separate may be of different size, different shape, different texture. Okay, these may be in the three states of matter. The substances which you want to separate may be on of, may be in three states of matter. So the substances may be in solid state, liquid state or gaseous state. Okay. So how do you separate substances, mix it together if they have so many different particles? Different properties and different varieties of mixtures are present in the substances. How do you separate them? Okay. Now we'll one by one discuss the methods of separation. Methods of separation. We will discuss some simple methods of separating substances that are mixed together. You may come across some of these methods being used day-to-day activities. Most of the processes, simple methods, you will come across in day-to-day activity or day-to-day life also, in your home also. Simple methods. So there was a simple method called hand picking. Hand picking. Okay. Bring a packet of food grain purchased from a shop to classroom. Okay. This you can take to home also. Now spread the grains on a sheet of paper. Do you find only one kind of grain on the sheet of paper? First what you do, you bring grains of food or food grain. Okay. Rice or jowar or wheat. Okay. You spread over the paper, or in your home, if there is a cloth, you can spread it. Are there pieces of stone, husk, broken grain and particles of any other grain in it? You check whether they will contain or whether it contains what? Check it. Husk, you can see it clearly. Husk you can see. Stone also you can see. Broken grain you can see. Broken grain. And particles of any other grain. Particles of any other grain. So in one packet or in one bag, these all are present. Okay. Now remove with hand the pieces of stone, husk and other grains from it. So what do you do? Stones first easily visible. First you remove the stones. Then afterwards you remove the husk. Then remove the broken grain. Then remove the particles of any other grain. Then, so this method of hand picking used for separating slightly larger size impurities. Hand picking method is used to separate slightly larger, not completely larger, slightly larger sized impurities. Larger sized impurities like pieces of stone and husk from wheat, rice, pulses. Maybe that may be husk, that may be pulses, that may be rice. So the quantity of such impurities is usually not very large. So these all impurities are what? Quantity will be lesser in number, lesser. Quantity is lesser. That's why it is easier to separate by hand picking. We find that hand picking is convenient method of separating substances. So hand picking is one of the convenient method to separate the mixtures. Okay. The next method is threshing. So you might have seen bundles of wheat or paddy stalks lying in the fields after harvesting. So you must have seen bundles of what? Paddy or paddy stalks. Then we call paddy stalks or wheat lying in fields after harvesting. Okay, harvesting the crop. Okay, so so stalks are dried. Why they are kept in the field, open field? What they do? First, stalks are dried in the sunlight. Stalks dried in the sun, and the grain is separated from them, and afterwards the grain is separated. Each stalk has many grain seeds attached to it. This is a stalk. Okay, so this is a grain. So this stalk has many number of what? Seeds. So these all are, maybe they may be hundreds also. Hundreds of bundles of stalks are in the field. The stalks are in a large number and seeds are many thousands in number. Okay. So one may pluck mangoes or guavas from the trees. Plucking mangoes or guavas very easier from the field. But grain seeds are much smaller than mangoes are. So grain seeds are much smaller than mangoes or guava. Okay. So plucking from their stalk would be impossible. Each and every time you cannot go and pluck. It's not possible. So first they are removed completely. They remove the stalk. This is called stalk, and they are dried. And afterwards, how does one separate grain from seeds? So how to separate grain from seeds? This is the question. So the process that is used to separate grain from stalk, etc., is threshing. Threshing is separation of grain from its stalk. What do they do in this process? The stalks are beaten to free the grain seed. The stalks are held like this and they are beaten. When they beat to the soil, land or soil, so they get separated. Sometimes threshing is done with the help of bullocks also. So all the stalks are spread over the land, field, and over that that bullocks are made to walk over that. And even nowadays machines are also used to thresh large quantity of grain.